Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba has stepped down as President Volodymyr Zelensky prepares to make big changes in the country's wartime government. Zelensky recently said he wants to bring new energy to his leadership team as the war with Russia approaches 1,000 days in November. This reshuffle aims to strengthen Ukraine's efforts both in fighting the war and in handling international relations. Kuleba's resignation is a key part of these changes, showing Zelensky's commitment to adapting Ukraine's strategy in the ongoing conflict and global diplomacy. Chinese President Xi Jinping has pledged over $50 billion in funding at an Africa summit, including $30 billion in credit and $20 billion in new investments. The funds will focus on infrastructure development and clean energy projects across the continent. China also plans to expand market access for African nations, though it has decided not to renew a previous $300 billion purchasing agreement. In a statement, China said this new commitment emphasizes its ongoing interest in supporting Africa's economic growth while aligning with global trends like sustainability and renewable energy. The investments aim to deepen economic ties between China and Africa. Two off-duty U.S. Marines from the 24th Marine Expeditionary Unit were attacked by members of an anti-American group during a port visit in Izmir, Turkey. A video of the incident shows the group, reportedly part of the Turkish Youth Union, assaulting the Marines and forcing a bag over one of their heads. Turkish authorities quickly arrested 15 individuals believed to be involved in the attack. The Marines were on a routine port visit, and the U.S. 6th Fleet has confirmed the incident. The assault highlights tensions between certain groups in Turkey and U.S. military presence. Linda Sun, a former aide to New York governors Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo, has been charged with spying for China, according to U.S. authorities. Along with her husband, Sun faces multiple charges related to passing sensitive information to Chinese officials. The case has raised concerns about espionage within U.S. government ranks, as Sun had access to high-level information during her time working with the governors. The charges point to an alleged effort by China to infiltrate U.S. political systems, highlighting ongoing tensions between the two countries over security and intelligence issues. Hello. You're with me on Global Compass, the weekly show that updates you on all that has been happening around the world. In our next segment, let's take a look at some of the stories that were specifically featured on Strat News Global. Canada is facing a political crisis after Jagmeet Singh's New Democratic Party withdrew its support for Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. The NDP's decision has put Trudeau's minority government at risk as it relied on their backing to pass key legislation and stay in power. Without NDP support, Trudeau may struggle to govern effectively, raising the possibility of early elections or a shift in political alliances. This move could lead to significant changes in Canada's political landscape, as Trudeau now faces heightened challenges in maintaining his leadership. A tragic shooting at Appalachia High School in Winder, Georgia, has left 4 people dead and 9 others injured. The victims have been identified as students Mason Shettermahon and Christian Angulo, along with teachers Christina Irimi and Richard Aspinwall. A 14-year-old suspect has been arrested and will be prosecuted as an adult. The devastating event has shocked the community, raising concerns about school safety and gun violence. Authorities are investigating the incident as the community mourns the loss of students and educators in this heartbreaking attack. Prime Minister Narendra Modi departed for a 2-nation visit to Brunei and Singapore, highlighting the importance of both countries in India's Act East policy and Indo-Pacific vision. In his departure statement, Modi emphasized that these nations are key partners in India's efforts to strengthen regional cooperation, trade and security in Southeast Asia. The visit is expected to bolster bilateral ties and reinforce India's strategic presence in the Indo-Pacific, aligning with Modi's broader goal of enhancing relationships with ASEAN nations under the Act East policy. Muhammad Yunus, head of Bangladesh's interim government, stated that former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, who fled to India on the 5th of August amid unrest, must remain silent during her stay in India. He described her political remarks from Indian territory as an unfriendly gesture. In an interview with PTI, Yunus emphasized Bangladesh's strong ties with India, but urged India to move beyond the narrative that paints all political parties except the Awami League as Islamist. He added that it is misleading to suggest Bangladesh will become like Afghanistan without Sheikh Hasina in power. Russian President Vladimir Putin was in Mongolia, marking his first visit to an international criminal court member country since the court issued an arrest warrant for him last year. He was greeted by Mongolia's leader in a grand ceremony in Ulaanbaatar on Tuesday. The ICC wants Putin for the alleged illegal deportation of Ukrainian children. This visit highlights the ongoing tensions between international justice and diplomatic relations as Putin continues to face legal challenges while engaging with global leaders. And to understand more about Putin's visit and how China-Mongolia-Russia relations are likely to play out in the future and how India should look at this development, I spoke to Professor Rajan Kumar, a Eurasia expert. Watch this excerpt.
After 1990s, Mongolia started following a very diverse kind of foreign policy, and the term being used is very interesting. It's called third neighbor policy because Mongolia is surrounded by only two countries, so it's always looking for a third country which can balance the relationship between the two countries. What has happened recently, because Russia and China, they have come very closer in terms of strategic partnership, in terms of political and ideological partnership. So Mongolia is very scared that Mongolia now will not have the choice of having relationship with a number of other countries in the West or the countries which support
in light of the Ukraine war, in light of the ICC ruling against Vladimir Putin, right? Because
yes.
the countries were exhorting Mongolia to arrest Putin, but then that it didn't do it. Laid out a red carpet welcome for him. But
that's very interesting. Just give me 30 seconds to answer that.
Sure.
See,
sure,
ICC, the ruling that came, against Putin after the war that started in Ukraine. But let me tell you that ICC is a defunct body. It's not a very effective body as far as when it comes to dealing with the powerful countries. In the last 2 decades, the ICC has not arrested any important dignitary. Forget about the president. Even the important high dignitaries, they have not arrested anyone. And also, please remember that United States is not a member. It has not ratified this agreement. ICC this. And so China, Russia, all the important major countries, they don't agree to ICC. So ICC is more like symbolic. The West tries to create the issue of human rights, etc. But it's not a very effective body. So it does not impact Putin that way. That's what I was saying.
Let's talk about Russia now. Where does Mongolia fit into Russia's larger strategy?
Mongolia is extremely important for Russia because Russia at the moment is looking for a diversification of its partnership. Russian economy, to a large extent, before 2014 Crimea, that invasion, before that Russia was completely Russian economy was very closely having ties with the Western countries, the gas supply, the oil supply, etc., to European countries. But after that, the strain that emerged, the sanctions which followed, and especially after the Russia-Ukraine war, Russia has been completely isolated, but Russia has not been isolated by the countries of the global south. The Western sanction and the Western policy, the policy of freezing the Russian reserves, dollar, etc. So after that, Russia started looking for the partners in the East very strongly. And in that, Mongolia is important because Mongolia is located in between Russia and China. So Russia also has independent territory which can connect to China, but with Mongolia, they have very important agreement. And Russia also realizes that because now it will not be having very close economic cooperation with the Western countries, so it has to pivot towards the east. And the reason why Putin is visiting Mongolia. And the last week why he visited the two important region, he wants to expedite this what he call power of Siberia 2 pipeline, and also he wants very strongly he wants to bring Mongolia into what you call Shanghai Cooperation Organization or Eurasian Economic Union framework. And it's not very happy that Mongolia is trying to have ties with Germany, France, and
Hmm.
United States. And yeah.
Naturally. How do you think this discovery of rare metals will play out strategically now?
India understands that it's very important for India to have a very good relation with Mongolia, which partly has been India didn't take it seriously because earlier it was very close. It had very close ties with Soviet Union, Mongolia, but now India realizes that. Also, please remember that our cultural ties with Mongolia is very strong and are very strong, and we shouldn't ignore that factor. We should not overplay that factor, but at the same time, we should also take into account the Buddhist population, which again has linked with Tibet population, but again Buddhism has some kind of cultural connection with India. So, and with economic investment, I think India's investment is favored by Mongolia. India's investment is also liked and favored by Russia today, because Russia wants Mongolia to have diversified ties, and India is not a threat to Russia in any way, and it kind of strengthens the case of Russia in some way. And we are planning to. We are already importing coking coal from there, but we can also import as far as other minerals are concerned, be it tin, gold, copper, etc. And the route can be because India is a very active participant in this East Economic Forum. Not this year, but earlier, Prime Minister Modi also visited the Eastern Economic Forum. So if the trade route is established between, say, here from Mongolia to Vladivostok, and from Vladivostok we have established a shipping line which can come to this Chennai. So that route would be extremely important, and we are working on that. And we invest in a refinery, the 1 billion that I said. So that we invest in a refinery, and refinery is something which which means which will strengthen the Mongolian economy.
You can watch this entire interview on Strat News Global on Tuesday. Please write in your comments. Don't forget to like and share this video. I do hope you have subscribed to this channel and made sure that your friends and family who are interested in foreign affairs have done so as well. Global Compass does not feel complete without mentioning the glorious performances displayed by Indian athletes at the Paris Paralympic Games. They are making headlines with their remarkable performances, having already secured over 24 medals in the Paris Paralympic Games. This impressive achievement highlights the dedication and talent of Indian Paralympians across various sports. With strong performances in athletics, swimming and other events, India's athletes are not only showcasing their skills, but also inspiring countless other aspirants. And it is time to let you go, but before we do that, ahead of New York Fashion Week, a heartwarming event showcased furry fashionistas strutting their stuff on the runway. Stylish pets, from glittering Pomeranians to elegant Maine Coons, captivated the audience with their chic outfits, proving that fashion isn't just for humans. The event celebrated the bond between pets and their owners, with each outfit reflecting the unique personality of its wearer. As the fur babies stole the spotlight, they reminded us that fashion is about more than just clothes. It is about love, joy, and the special connection we share with our four-legged friends. Enjoy the puppers, enjoy the show. See you next week. Till then, take care.
Fur baby and a student design, pretty fabulous foundation funds music therapy and it's already funded more than $43 million in research grants in Gabrielle's memory. You can honor Alinka Shunovich, entitled Protector of the Carpathian Forest. Alinka's design incorporates a shade of green. I think little dog is getting scared. A Papillon Chihuahua mix. Clearly, Jamie has always loved everything that's sparkles. New York Second Chance Rescue strives to reduce euthanasia rates and supports an overburdened shelter system.